Imagine two people entering the same room. One is undeniably gifted, possessing a natural charisma and a raw ability that everyone notices immediately. The other is perfectly average, but they are relentless. They follow the same routine and put in the same effort, regardless of weather or mood. If you return to check on both individuals 10 years later, the average, relentless person has typically built the superior life. They possess the stability, the career, and the reputation that the gifted individual often struggles to maintain. This contradicts our societal obsession with the natural. Modern culture celebrates the prodigy and the genetic lottery winner, treating success as something reserved for those born with an inherent spark. However, these early, easy wins often breed overconfidence. When a person relies purely on a gift, they begin to crave ease and avoid the struggle that creates growth. They develop a fear of failure that keeps them stuck in their comfort zone. Talented people frequently wait for the perfect inspiration, making their output inconsistent and mood-dependent. The disciplined individual relies on a structural endurance, maintaining the same pace even when they don't feel ready or inspired. Possessing raw ability without structural consistency leaves potential untapped. It is a rocket sitting on a launch pad with no fuel, a display of power that ultimately has no direction. Statistical data cuts through the myth of the gifted few. Less than 1% of the population is born with extraordinary, once-in-a-generation talent. For everyone else, waiting for a natural gift is a losing strategy. Relying on a spark of inspiration that may never come is a guaranteed way to fall behind. Capability is not an inheritance. It is a result of unglamorous daily action, an architecture you build for yourself through repetition. The most successful performers avoid comparing their innate abilities to others' highlight reels. They focus instead on outworking the room and maintaining habits that their peers are too impatient to sustain. Long-term achievement is the direct result of the daily actions you are willing to execute. Your trajectory is determined by your habits, not your starting point. Behavioral psychology offers a clear explanation for this. Researcher Angela Duckworth studied high achievers in some of the world's most intense environments to see what separated those who finished from those who quit. She identified a specific trait called grit, defined as the combination of passion and perseverance applied toward a long-term goal. Her work with elite military cadets proved that grit consistently predicts high performance more accurately than raw IQ or natural ability. In these environments, talent is only a starting point. This concept of self-regulation was famously explored in Walter Mischel's Stanford Marshmallow Test, which focused on the power of delayed gratification. The experiment was simple. A child was offered one reward immediately, or two rewards if they could wait alone in a room without eating the first one. Children who successfully waited for the second reward were followed into adulthood. Decades later, they showed better health, higher financial stability, and more successful relationships than those who gave in to the immediate impulse. This strategic ability to prioritize long-term growth over immediate comfort is the essence of discipline. It is a calculated trade, sacrificing ease today to secure permanent elevation tomorrow. Choosing effort over ease activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and self-regulation. This pathway strengthens every time a person chooses the difficult, correct action. Discipline hardwires the brain, making it a literal skill that anyone can train. Humans are evolutionarily drawn to this kind of internal consistency. We find reliability magnetic because it signals predictability and safety in a chaotic world. A moody prodigy is erratic and volatile. A disciplined person, however, projects emotional maturity. They can be trusted to show up and follow through, regardless of the circumstances. Dr. Mensa Otabil recognized this early in his life. Lacking a natural talent advantage, he used relentless consistency to equalize the playing field, building his authority through earned mastery. This level of internal stability is why discipline is more attractive than talent. We admire the control it takes to dictate one's own outcomes. Jim Rohn's philosophy provides a blueprint for building these routines. His system focuses on structural habits that make progress predictable by reducing the mental effort required to start a task. Step 1 is to make commitments laughably small. Writing one paragraph is a more sustainable goal than trying to write a book on the first day. These small commitments build self-trust. They prove to your brain that you are someone who keeps promises, creating the momentum needed for larger goals. Step 2 is to automate success through habit stacking. By tying a new behavior to an existing daily routine, you use the momentum of your old habits to trigger the new ones. Step 3 is to embrace discomfort by finishing the hardest task first. This rewires the brain to accept struggle as the price of growth, turning effort into a routine rather than an obstacle. Following this architecture makes success a structural certainty. It creates a system where failing to progress is more difficult than showing up. Repeated actions do more than create external results. They forge a new internal identity. Every kept promise solidifies the self-concept of someone who is undeniably trustworthy. This daily consistency eventually creates an identity that functions independently of temporary motivation. This leads to a disciplined mind that is at peace. The daily internal negotiations end because the decisions have already been made. You have no control over your genetics or where you were born, but you can choose to give yourself the gift of discipline every single morning. Talent determines the opening chapter of your story. Quiet, unyielding discipline determines exactly where it ends.